Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. First of all, we welcome Fizza Shah in OPEP Scholar Forum. Would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Hi, Assalamu alaikum. It's Fizza Shah from the UK. I'm a positive psychology practitioner. I've just completed a master's in applied positive psychology, and I've opened up an organization called Positive Wellbeing Association. Again, it's like the Overseas Pakistani Educationist platform. It offers advice on positive psychology, and it's there to actually help people out there to thrive and gain more optimum levels of functioning. So it's a new discipline, positive psychology. It offers quite a range of strategies for people out there to actually gain a tool set, a set skill to actually do better than what they are at the present moment in time. It's building on their strengths, it's cultivating happiness techniques, it's gaining momentum in your positivity levels as well. So all in all, it's a very positive discipline whereby you get to learn new things about yourself and how to thrive within your work, family, and personal life.
Okay, Fizza Shah, would you like to explain what's the difference between positive psychology and the normal psychology activities planning? Because maybe this word is this terminology is a little bit new for us. How you can differentiate between the term positive psychology and general psychology?
Well, positive psychology has been around for quite a few years. Um, it's just been now acknowledged as a new discipline through certain people, like the founding father of positive psychology, Martin Seligman, who has actually concentrated upon three major areas of evidence based research upon happiness, strengths, and positivity. He's actually gained momentum. He's set a worldwide target for well-being to increase by 51% by the year 2051. So it's a very aspiring, meaningful purpose that he's given for this world. I feel that at the end of the day, how it differs from other disciplines. You have clinical psychology, which looks at the clinical practices of actually helping people who are experiencing difficulties within their lives. You have other disciplines like the evolutionary psychology that looks at the whole evolution process. You have neuropsychology, which looks at all the brain processes. You have so many cognitive psychology, which looks at all the cognitive processes entailed within the human being that enables you to think, learn, and actually looks at all those technicalities behind how what people do. And then you have developmental psychology, which actually looks upon the actual developmental milestones of how children grow at each stage of their life. So how it differs from that, I think it differs in the whole essence that it's actually looking at thriving and good attributes. It analyzes how individuals um, perform at their optimum levels. It even addresses optimal levels of strength building in children too. So it's looking at all the positive things in society, whereby the other disciplines obviously look at how things work within the brain, or how they worked in the past, or how they've actually attributed to a person from childhood to adulthood. This is actually just simply looking at those things within children or adults that have actually made them better people and allowed them to perform at their utmost optimum levels. So it's more to do with self-help measures. It's actually incorporating clinical practices. It embraces the clinical side. It looks at positive psychology interventions. That's the core foundation, I feel, of positive psychology. It's it's actually incorporating evidence-based research where I feel there's so much scope to be learning so much more, and just build upon the actual current research that has been done in those three main areas of cultivating happiness, strength, and positivity. I think by just incorporating those three things, um, generally that would attribute towards a better society, better individuals. It would be more of a domino effect of embracing positive psychology and allowing it to actually enable you to flourish within your life. And I think happy people makes a happy society, whereby that makes a happy world.
Okay, well, Fizza Shah, really, you explained very well. So I have another question for example, like there is some families circumstances affects the brain of the children, like for example, if there is some clashes between the parents, like mother and father, and even because in Pakistan, we are mostly people are living in joint family system. So majority of the people, especially the mothers, are facing as a daughter-in-law. She's facing a problem from the mother-in-law and other family members. The children, which is who are growing in such situations, okay, almost they develop some you can negative impact on their brains. So when these children grow up and when they come in the market, so the same situation, like he is, confidence building. They are lacking in the confidence building. So as a psychologist, how you can handle such situation, and what the international community psychologists are recommending such type of tools to help such type of cases.
I think with families, especially the joint system is very good if it's in a collaborative manner, meaning that the whole family strive for the same purpose, whereby you get situations where the ladies, I mean, they are in greater numbers than men, and obviously men have to spend majority of their time in a work environment. So for them to come home to say imbalanced environment is quite hard to cope with. I think what it is, it's the problem is not the problem, it's the way people cope with the problem. It needs adaptive coping on all measures. So the adults within the home need to come to some kind of understanding, some kind of ground rules within the home. Obviously, you have some women who don't want to live with their in-laws and they want to move on. Obviously, it's coming to some mutual understanding, because obviously there are many benefits of living within a good nurturing environment where a child would get love from their grandparents as well as their mother. It would work for them. But obviously, if it's nourished and if it's done the right way, I think positive interventions would be the best way forward. I know that sounds quite sort of clinical, but having sort of grandma and daughter-in-law sessions whereby they speak out the differences, they look at how what the bigger picture is. It's like when you're schooling your children, and when, I mean, most of the schools here in the UK have sort of literacy programs, they have maths programs, they have interventions whereby the parents can actually acquire skills to help their child. And I think this is what's needed within such families. They need to have interventions whereby they can acquire good, sort of positive skills to actually nourish the family as a whole unit, rather than sort of think of themselves or try to strive as individuals. And as for the children, I think a three-way intervention where the child is sitting in, and the ladies of the house are sitting in, and obviously the man of the house is sitting in as well. That would be really good, because then obviously they can see the bigger picture. I think what it is in this day and age, people are so they're so engrossed by money, they forget what family values and what the true essence of a family unit has. It has many benefits if you're willing to put the time, effort, and nourish it. And there are very much long-term benefits to it. You know, um, for the child, for the adults involved as well. And if you look at this day and age whereby you're expected to do so many things, to have a helping hand within your family unit is a blessing if it's done the right way and everybody's striving for the same sort of um, purpose. Um, but as for where it's not being done, and you can observe that it's not being done and it's having negative effects on the child, I feel that if teachers can actually, call not one of the parents in, but both parents in, and any family members that are there to actually have a group discussion on it, because they feel that actually it's affecting the well-being of the child that much. Identifying the problem or even acknowledging it is a good step in the right direction, because if you're not acknowledging it or identifying it, then you can't do anything about it. And then what comes of it after that is that you need to have some kind of adaptive thinking techniques, meaning if you know what the problem is, you can do something about it. Stress is a major issue in nowadays in society, and there's two ways of coping with stress. Either you cope with it with in an adaptive manner or a maladaptive manner. This is the same with any family situation, it's the same with any work related situation, it's the same with any personal matter. You either cope with it adaptively or maladaptively. It's you as an individual, you need to weigh the pros and cons and actually do what you think is actually best suited to your situation. But it requires a journey of change. You need to. It's not something that's going to be done overnight. You have to understand that people are quite set in their ways. People have hidden agendas. Sometimes they're not honest. But obviously, if everyone is willing to be honest and identify the problem and then think, yes, actually, no, I think we need to do something about this, and are willing to change, then there is a better chance of a positive well-being to occur.
Well, Fizza Shah, what I understand from your conversation here, you explained very well. So it's a need of the time that, like, no, you are living in UK, and you know that in international community there are special counseling centers over there. Even at the weekends, there are so many activities, and the families go there and they share their experiences and their problems with each other, and they try to sort out. As a Pakistani or Pakistani community, special society is not such type of activity is not favorable. But what I can understand that maybe the schools are the schools can play a very positive role in such activities. Like, for example, if the schools can hire a positive psychologist or any psychologist, okay, that psychologist can do session with the parents on the weekend, or even at working hours also. For example, if those parents who have any problems in their children or in their any even their personal problem also, so they can discuss with the psychologist who is part of their schools also. So what do you suggest in this regard?
I think that's a very absolutely brilliant idea. If the schools have in-house counselling, it allows them to outsource if anything they identify that's troubling them about a certain child's behaviour. So obviously having those experts on board allows them to get on with their normal day of teaching, but obviously allowing them to identify a child that they feel may need some further help, and obviously having the in-house counselling on board would allow them to feel a lot better themselves, thinking, okay, that problem is being addressed, it's been addressed, and that the in-house counsellors can have that more one-to-one sort of, give that more one-to-one support that the child needs, and obviously have the parents on board as well. So I think that's an absolutely brilliant idea, and it should be something that is quite common. It should be compulsory, I feel,
Yes,
because if you look at positive well-being, then having in-house counsellors, having educational psychologists on board, having people there who are experts in their field that would help the child grow, and obviously allow them to have a more of a positive experience within a school environment is very plausible. And I find that that would help the school to actually flourish as well, because happy children make much more academically happy children will thrive, just knowing that they've got that extra support on hand as well. So yes, no, definitely, I would definitely prescribe that. I mean, having just a counselor and having an educational psychologist and maybe having a positive psychology practitioner on board, I think they would get a three-dimensional positive well-being there.
yes, because that, for example, if a child, even majority of the schools students, they are facing the bullying also from other students. Okay, so a positive psychologist or any psychologist can identify the problems. Okay, maybe within the school. Okay, the teacher training, like for example, majority of the teachers also, uh, they are facing the family issues, and they are almost frustrated, and they are showing their frustration in their classrooms. Okay, so for example, if any lady having any problem in the family problem, okay, and she's the teacher, and when she comes to the class, so she is almost frustrated. So as a positive psychologist, okay, or any psychologist, if she is there, she can discuss that issue with the psychologist, and she can sort out the issue. So I think this can be a very mega program, and inshallah, hopefully, we will recommend to the, and we will talk with some government officials also regarding this, because Pakistani community now, Alhamdulillah, it's flourishing and it's growing. So it's the need of the time to join hand in this noble cause, and we should train. We should at least we can set a directions. Okay, that what is important, because only teaching in the classroom is not sufficient. We need to our teachers should be observer. Like if a student is not mentally available, or if students are not mentally present in the classroom, or if he or she is feeling some problem, so how she or he can be absorb the knowledge. So this is the main area on which we should focus on it.
Um, I think with teachers, obviously, teachers are stressed. Not just you'll find that they're constantly all over the world. You will find teachers are sort of they do experience stress because of obviously their job requirements, family life, just balancing it all. I feel that the schools themselves, what they need to do is invest in their teachers, because that is an investment in their academic performance. Because if they have happy teachers, they will have happy children, and then they will have a thriving and flourishing school. So again, it's about creating a positive environment within the school, and that starts with the teachers. That's really essential, that is. And for them, I think they should allocate training, even if it's once a fortnight. But there is that need to do so, because they need to feel a part of the school. If they don't have a platform whereby they can't express their difficulties or their daily stresses, then they keep that inside, and that will obviously come out as frustration, or that's not going to be beneficial for the school. So they need to allocate training, not for just the regular things. Obviously, they have training for, you know, changes within the schools, academic performances, you know, government checks and things like that. What they need to do is they need to actually allocate some training for their personal development. So something that would actually enhance their well-being, because obviously you have to look at it this way, that a school nourishes and thrives on you know, various aspects of its functioning, and the functioning starts with obviously upper level, the senior management, middle management, the teachers, the head of departments. And if there's no collaboration there whereby they don't have some kind of meeting, and you know, they don't discuss issues, there's got to be transparency, there's got to be meaningful and purposefulness in there. So whereby I think here they have that, which really works well, because obviously it makes people who are even, you know, who are learning support assistants feel as if that we're part of this school. So it's looking at the top right down to the bottom and finding a collaboration amongst them, and a meaningful, purposeful training, you know, whereby days are set aside for them to come in informally, where, you know, these could be school holidays. Children get a lot of school holidays. They come in for, you know, set staff training, whereby obviously it's made a casual affair. It's you know, they have a buffet system there. It's a very relaxed environment whereby they get to express their daily sort of stresses, and the appropriate sort of policymakers provide them with the appropriate training they need to obviously get to them to the next level, the next step. And all an organization can only thrive if they take everybody along with them to the next level. It can't be something that's done at the hierarchy level, and you know, the people down below don't know what's going on. So it's got to be a joint effort.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Fizza Shah. I think today that's all for today, because I know you have some commitments also, and you informed me in advance that you will be here for 30 minutes, and it's almost the time is over. So Alhamdulillah, today it was very good session, and hopefully, because the recording will be available for the members, and inshallah next week we will again here with the new topic, and we will available for the live question answer also. So if some of our members, if they want to join this session live, okay, they are welcome, okay, inshallah. So we will share the meeting ID with all, okay, and hopefully inshallah this platform will be a very helpful platform for all those who are facing some challenges in their schools or in their personal life. Thank you very much, Fizza Shah, once again for joining OPEP Scholar Forum.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Okay.
Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz. Allah Hafiz.